Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech and iPadOS 26 brings some really great features to the iPad. But in this video, I'm going to talk about features that are not coming to older iPad models. But before I get into that, let's talk about iPads that support iPadOS 26, as there is one iPad that is no longer supported. iPadOS 26 supports the iPad 8th generation and newer, iPad Air 3rd generation and later, iPad Pro 11-inch 1st generation and later, iPad Pro 12.9-inch 3rd generation and later, as well as iPad Mini 5th generation and later. The iPad 7th generation from 2019, unfortunately, is no longer supported. It's the iPad 8th generation and newer. Now then, iPadOS 26, it brings some really great features to the iPad. Apple is bringing this new feature called Liquid Glass, where it sort of has a different look to some of the icons. If you get really close, you can see some sort of lighting across the shape of the icon. There is a new clear mode for icons. A lot of great new features that's coming to all iPads. And there is also a new windowing system that's coming to all iPads that replaces split view. But I want to talk about features that are not coming to older iPads and with some limitations to the new windowing system for older iPads. Now, here is the features that are not coming to older iPads. And the first one is external monitor support. That was a feature introduced back in iPadOS 16 back in 2022 with Stage Manager. So the same things still apply. If you have an iPad Pro M1 or later or iPad Air M1 or later, then you will have the external monitor support, which basically allows you to turn your iPad into a desktop with a full-size external monitor. Whenever you would hook your iPad up to an external monitor, you would essentially get black bars around it, basically screen mirroring your device. It's not giving you that full edge-to-edge screen real estate on the entire monitor. That's still available only for iPad Pro and Air models with the M1 chip or later. I'm not sure if iPad A17 gets it. I don't think it does. The iPad Mini A17, but that does get Apple Intelligence. And that brings me to my next feature. While all iPads get the windowing system, only the iPads with the M series chips get the new feature where you can have your iPad with an external display. There is a new feature called live translation. And while this is available in the iOS 26 phone app, Apple brought the phone app to the iPad and the Mac via continuity camera. However, I believe you can also access it with Wi-Fi calling if your iPad supports it, which most iPads and Macs probably do. So with the new phone app, you have live translation. If someone is speaking in Spanish or a different language, you can translate that in real time and it will translate it back to you in your native language. That is only available for Apple Intelligence devices only. So an A17 chip or an M1 chip. And on the iPhone, you'll need an iPhone 15 Pro or newer. I've already covered that in my iOS 26 features not coming to older iPhones video, which you'll be able to find on my YouTube channel here as well. So I did cover that in that video as well. Within iMessage, we now have backgrounds. And while this is coming to every single iPad that supports the new iPadOS 26, including the iPad Generation 8 with the home button, as well as all the iPhones that run iOS 26, there is also a new feature called background suggestions. And also you can use Image Playground to generate backgrounds for your iMessage. Those features are only available for Apple Intelligent devices. So you will need an A17 chip or an M1 chip in order to get that feature. You also have iMessage polls. So maybe you're voting on something. You're voting on maybe a favorite sports team or something different. You can now vote and have iMessage polls within iMessage. However, that too is only available for Apple Intelligence devices. Now, if I go into a photo here, I took this while I was on vacation last year in Florida. You can now have live photos. Now, this is also a feature available. I thought it was A14 chip or newer, where you can have live photos where you tilt the device. But I guess it might be Apple Intelligence only, where you can have spatial photos in iPadOS 26. Now, reminders also get some updates. In reminders, and this is a reminder I did for a video back in March when I made my 3 years later video on my iPad Air from 2020. In reminders, you can have it basically auto-categorize your reminders. However, that is an Apple Intelligence feature requiring an A17 chip or M1 chip. Now, if I go into shortcuts here, wherever I have it, it might take me a minute to find it here. Because I have my apps in different folders here. There is some updates within shortcuts as well. Let me see if I can search for the app. So within shortcuts, you also have Apple Intelligence based shortcuts within here as well. However, again, that is only available for A17 or M1 chip or newer. Now, Image Playground gets updates, again, A17 or M1 chip with Apple Intelligence. Now, if you take a screenshot and we go into a screenshot, the screenshot interface does look a little bit different. Now, I did not clarify at the beginning of the video, I'm not running the iPadOS 26 beta. I'm on iPadOS 18.5, so that's why it might look the same if you are running the beta. But within the screenshot updates, you can now use visual intelligence to maybe look up different things. Maybe say you take a screenshot of a photo. Maybe I go in here and I take a screenshot of this 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe here. And I go into it, it could tell me that that's a Hyundai Santa Fe. Or maybe I take a screenshot of this Chevy Trax that I have here as well. Those are nice updates, and you could use visual intelligence to update or to get more information about those different photos within iOS 26. So that's all of the features that are not coming to older iPads. Everything else, including the new windowing system, where you can open up apps in Windows, because Apple has gotten rid of split screen. Basically, you can't just open up split screen in full screen anymore. You basically can open it up within a window. And I do have pictures of the windowing system. You now can open up apps and windows in iPadOS 26. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.